inspired you to want to be a professional athlete?
Yeah, just like every kid, when you grow up, being a player, you know, you always want to achieve the best. And from when I was a young athlete, I wanted to, you know, my goal was to always become a professional athlete, whether it was to get into a good college, and then the next step was to become a professional athlete. I just sort of followed the steps along the way, and like the dream of every kid who ever plays sport, you know, mine was the same, to become a professional athlete.
All right. How much hard work and commitment did it take to become a professional athlete?
It's definitely a lot of hard work. I mean, there's a progression along the way from high school. You know, I did the things that you guys do as athletes. You know, weight room and field work. But there's always that little bit of extra that you have to put in. Not the minimum is what your team does, but you have to put in extra work. So I always made sure that whatever I was doing, it was always a little bit more. If it was the last one to leave the field, the last one to leave the weight room, or to be extra time in the weight room, that was always the things that helped me achieve the goals that I wanted.
When did you know you were going to be a professional athlete?
I don't know if there was a time and place. You know, I started as a freshman in college at USC, and I think that was maybe a starter for me, being that I was one of only a couple athletes at that time to be a starter on the offensive line at USC for 4 years. There was only one person before me that had achieved that goal. So I thought that if I had stayed on a path, that there was a good chance, and I worked hard, that I could become a professional athlete.
How much time did you spend on the football field or the weight room?
Well, I mean, you guys know the high school commitment, and then double that for college. College, you know, you have to put in even more time. I mean, it was a commitment from 12 in the afternoon till 6 or 7 at night. And then in the pros, it's like a day job. You show up at 8 and you leave, you know, at 6 or 7 at night. So I would say that the commitment was no less than a full-time job, 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, if not 7.
Did the work get harder and harder as you became a professional athlete?
Yeah, definitely. The competition level goes up, the work gets harder. You put in more time, like you guys watch game films, okay? Not only the field work that you do now, but then you double your weight room time, and then you also have to double your film time and meeting time. So we meet as an individual group, you'll meet for an hour or 2 a day, and then you'll also have team meetings, which are longer every day, besides, you know, all the work on the field and weight room time.
How much commitment did it take to be a professional athlete?
How much commitment? I mean, the commitment is what you want to put into it. It takes the desire and the dream. It takes everything that you want. But it's easier when you have a love for the game. I love sports, and when, as a coach later, I try to teach the love for the game. So you have to love what you're doing, and because it is a commitment that you put in every day. You don't want to be doing something you don't like to do. So really, you know, from high school it was, you know, 5 hours, 4 hours. College it was 6 hours. Pro it was 8 to 10 hours a day.
What happened if you skipped practice in the NFL or college?
College and the NFL, NFL especially, there was no missing. If you were sick, if you were throwing up, no matter what you were, you had to show up, because that was your job. And it's not like an everyday job that you can call in sick. During the season, they have doctors there and people there who will treat you. So if you are sick, you can't just call in and say, I'm sick. So that doesn't work. You go there, then they decide what they're gonna do with you. So it's totally different than an everyday job. You don't call in sick, basically. There is no sick.
How much did injuries affect your career?
Injuries affected my career tremendously. I was, started as a freshman, and then after my freshman year, I blew up my knee, and then I had it just scoped arthroscopically. I came back in my sophomore year, but my knee wasn't repaired all the way, so I was injured all that year. And then after that season, 3 days after the Rose Bowl, I had my knee fully reconstructed. Came back my junior year, halfway through the season because it's a 9-month recovery, and came back off an injury halfway through the season, so it wasn't much. But then my senior year, I was finally healthy again, and I had a great year, made all Pac-10, and then in the last play of the game, my last game of the year, the Rose Bowl, I blew up my other knee. So, where I was played for 4 years, having 2 bad knees, it did affect my pro career, and I ended up not being drafted. But I knew that all I needed was a chance to play, and as a free agent, I made it to the Denver Broncos, and they took a chance on me, and I made the team.
Was there any time for social activities like movies or dating in the college?
Yeah, there is time. In college you live a little bit more of a nightlife, so you don't like morning classes and you tend to stay up later. So it's nice because your schedule usually is like a Monday to Thursday, so you tend to have Thursday night that you can go out and Friday day that you can do stuff, as long as it's not in season, because you can't really go out when you have a game on Saturday. But that's half of the season. So during the off season, you have more time to do things. After games, obviously you can, if you're not traveling, because if you're traveling and you play on Saturday night, then you come home Saturday, you may get home 2, 3 in the morning, and then Sunday, and then you go to practice, and Monday you're back to work. So there is limited time, but there's always time for some fun.
How did you get a professional scout to look at you?
You don't really get professional scouts to look at you. What they do is look at game film. That's their job, and they know where they need to look at. The best thing that happened to me was I went to USC, so they were automatically coming there to look, maybe not even at me, but somebody else. So they came and watched films and knew who I was, and you have name recognition for being a starter, being an all Pac-10 player, and then it goes from there.
All throughout your career, how would you deal with the media?
You're sort of schooled with the media, how basically to, answer your questions in a manner that you don't want to be part of a pinup board for the other team. You don't want to make statements to incite the other teams to fire them up. Especially this day and age, it was different from mine. This day and age with Twitter and everything else, they even now watch everyone's phones and Twitters and Facebook pages that they don't make statements derogatory towards the other teams. It's always about it's a team effort, and we do this together. It's not about what your individual achievements are. Then they actually have media days in the beginning where they come and they have people that teach you and help you how to deal with the media.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.